Thank you for joining me on this tutorial today. I'm going to show you a different version of a longtail cast on. Longtail cast on is probably one of the most common, most popular cast ons, and the difficulty is in just figuring out how much of a tail you need to cast on a certain number of stitches. One of the common methods is to give yourself a tail and then wrap around your knitting needle the number of times that you need stitches, and then give yourself another grace, and then hopefully this is going to be enough to do your cast on. But a lot of times we end up, even with tricks like that, we end up with too short of a tail or maybe way too much of a tail, and it can be kind of frustrating. And so for that reason, I have for a long time avoided using it on a regular basis until I discovered this technique. And I'm going to show it to you in two colors, but if you wanted to use just both ends of one skein of yarn, you do it exactly the same way. But I'll use these two colors today because the contrast will really help you quite a bit. We're going to use this red yarn right here, to be honest with you, is some very ancient acrylic yarn. It's probably older than I am. And this is also just some acrylic yarn. But these are really great for doing these tutorials because you can really see the contrast of colors and see what I'm doing. So what you would do is you're going to take both ends of your yarn together, whether you're using two different yarns or whether you're using both ends of the same yarn. Give yourself your tail and make your slip knot. I usually like to make the slip knot so that the slide is happening from the tail end and not the working end, and I'll show you why when we come back the other way. And just like your regular longtail cast on, you're going to use this setup. But what you're going to do is you're going to figure out which yarn is going to be along the bottom edge and which yarn is going to be the loop on your needle. In this case, I am going to have the green be the loop on the needle and the red come along the bottom. I'm going to make sure my tails are out of the way. We never want to work with the tail. It'll make us sad. We're going to make our loop on our thumb, reach into the thumb, and grab the one off the finger. And then snug it up gently. Grab our loop, pick it up, and just keep getting a nice rhythm. And then keeping a nice even tension. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And one of the reasons I like this, there's several applications for this that I really like. One of them is for striping, just doing your basic stripes. Now if I was doing two different colors that I wanted to stripe, now both of my yarns are attached and ready to go, and I can just carry up along the side. And I think that this is makes for a really neat and tidy way to do that. And you can see along the bottom that I have my second color there. And if you wanted that to not be the opposite color, obviously you would just use the same color, right? But for our contrast, for this demonstration. All right, so now there's where we had the two tied together. Now we're just going to be able to pop that out and keep going. There you go. And I also like this method if I'm working with maybe multiple skeins of maybe a hand-dyed yarn, and because you can basically stripe two skeins of a hand-dyed yarn together, and it helps to even out the inherent differences from one skein to another, because even if they're from the same dye lot, your hand dyeds are still going to have some variant in their coloring, and that's going to even that right out. So there you go. That is how that works. And you can see it gives us a nice twist right here with your color, and adds and you always end up with just the right amount of yarn. So give that one a try and let me know what you think. Hope you join us on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.